one of our security guards who had been with H for so long, and these guys were so wonderful. I just collapsed in his arms crying. I was like, I tried so hard. He goes, I know you did. I know you did, ma'am. I know you did.
She's so full of it. She's believing her own lies. She's clearly lying. What did she do for anybody except for look out for herself?
Boom, July 2025 is here, and guess what? The Meghan Markle drama still hasn't cooled down at Netflix HQ. Tensions are running wild between Meghan herself, Netflix big shots Greg Peters and Ted Sarandos, and pretty much every exec and producer caught in the crossfire. Things are messy over there, seriously messy. Netflix knows they're walking a tightrope right now, and it's not looking good for anyone involved. Meghan's been scrambling behind the scenes, trying so hard to keep With Love, Meghan's season 2, from falling apart. She's hustling to hold it together, but despite all that effort, the latest test screening was a complete disaster. Nothing seems to be working out for her, no matter how hard she tries. Oh, and let's not forget, Meghan is losing out on roles left and right. One after another, opportunities in Hollywood are slipping right through her fingers. The film world, the TV world, even streaming. It's like doors keep closing no matter where she turns. She's hanging on for dear life, trying to stay relevant, as she calls it. But people aren't exactly lining up to cast her these days. But here's where it gets even wilder. The chaos at Netflix keeps piling up. After yet another failed test screening, and trust us at Famedrip, they've had plenty, the tension is boiling over. This wasn't the first time things fell flat, and it probably won't be the last. Executives are running out of patience, and Meghan's out of options. What's next? So here's where things really start spiraling out of control. With Love, Meghan's season 2, episode 6 to be exact, has been through the ringer. And let's be real. It's not just 1 or 2 screenings. We're talking about multiple test screenings for the whole season, episodes 1 through 8, getting chopped up and re-edited over and over just to figure out how people actually feel about the show. And honestly, the reactions aren't looking good at all. But wait till you hear this next part, because Meghan Markle's behavior during one of these screenings took everything to the next level. Her attitude, straight up unpredictable. She's already been butting heads not only with Netflix, but with other studios across Hollywood too. Major setbacks are stacking up fast for With Love, Meghan season 2. After yet another screening bombed and left Netflix in chaos. It got real. Netflix co-CEO Ted Sarandos, yep, the top guy, once again gave Meghan permission to attend and watch the latest test screening for episodes 1 through 3 of the new season. And guess what? It backfired. Again. Netflix had carefully selected a screening audience they described as neutral. No bias against Meghan whatsoever. But even these folks couldn't hold back. They straight up called episodes 1 through 3 the worst thing Netflix has ever produced. Poor acting, weak directing, sloppy producing, and dialogue delivery that just fell flat. It was all a disaster, but it didn't stop there. Meghan then took the stage for a live Q&A session, ready to hear what people thought. Big mistake. The audience hit her with tough confrontational questions, calling out the show's weak creativity and lack of storytelling punch. The whole room was on edge. People weren't holding back, and Meghan couldn't dodge the heat. And this is where things really exploded. Reports say Meghan Markle straight up raised her voice at the live audience, calling them hecklers and manipulators who were supposedly twisting her words. Can you believe that? Her outburst shocked the room so much that several screeners actually walked out mid-event, leaving Netflix completely humiliated in front of their own hand-picked audience. And guess who's taking the heat for this whole mess? Yep, Ted Sarandos. He's the one who gave Meghan the green light to not only attend the screening, but also take live questions from the audience last week. And that decision, it backfired big time. The real shocker happened when some bold audience members stood up and called her out right there on stage. They exposed what they called the phony nature of her show and even accused it of copying other people's work. Right after those claims hit the air, Meghan reportedly snapped, accusing the audience of trying to create a viral moment and even going as far as to call them traitors. Yes, traitors. The situation got so heated that a Netflix producer had to gently take Meghan by the hand and pull her off stage, dragging her behind the curtains to stop the meltdown from going any further. Now, the Netflix board of directors is scrambling to figure out what to do next. They're already holding serious talks about banning Meghan Markle from ever joining another test screening, especially during the Q&A sessions. Some insiders say Netflix might scrap the whole Q&A portion entirely for future screenings, which, by the way, are happening again in just a few days. And here's the wildest part. This isn't the first time Meghan's acted this way. Just 3 months ago, something very similar went down. She got defensive, confrontational, and started throwing out the same accusations, calling the audience traitors, hecklers, and people who were trying to spin her words for the internet. This is turning into a full-blown pattern, and Netflix is running out of patience fast. The wildest part about all of this, these people weren't even hardcore Meghan Markle critics. They were just speaking their minds, telling the truth as they saw it. A lot of these screeners were handpicked by Netflix itself. Most of them didn't even know the full story behind the show's creation. Sure, they knew who Meghan Markle was. Who doesn't? But they didn't come in with any bias against her. They were neutral. At least until they saw the episodes. But let's not forget the bigger picture. Netflix itself is already on shaky ground. It's not just Meghan Markle's show stirring up trouble. The company's raising subscription prices, pulling fan-favorite shows and movies off the platform, and frustrating viewers left and right. Beloved content is disappearing overnight, and where's it going? Either nowhere or straight to other platforms like Hulu and beyond. People are not happy about it. And then things took another sharp turn. Meghan didn't just clash with the audience, she turned her frustration toward Netflix itself. She blamed the company for putting her in such an awkward, confrontational position. Meghan reportedly said Netflix set her up to be embarrassed in front of roughly 100 people. Can you believe it? Instead of taking responsibility, she pointed the finger right back at the studio that gave her the opportunity in the first place. Now here's the kicker. As it stands right now, Meghan is actually thinking about skipping the next big test screening. This one's supposed to cover episodes 4 through 6, but after what happened last time, it sounds like she's not too eager to face another tough crowd. What's going to happen next? So here we go again. These brand new screenings are about to kick off, right after another round of major re-edits aimed at fixing the show's storyline and flow. But let's be real. So far, it's been nothing but a total disaster, and honestly, it's looking like With Love, Meghan Season 2, aka Part 2, is shaping up to be an even bigger ratings flop than the first one. People are already bracing for impact. Why? Because Meghan herself confirmed that this season will be packed with all kinds of life lessons. Parenthood, fatherhood, motherhood, you name it, she's squeezing it in. Plus, she's tossing in heavy themes of diversity, equity, and inclusion, all while casually cooking on screen in some episodes. And yep, you guessed it. Things are going to get a little political too. But here's where it really raises eyebrows. Plans are still in motion to bring big political figures like Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris into the mix for episodes 4 and 6. They're supposed to film short cameo appearances once the reshoots wrap up. Can you imagine the headlines when that drops? Now, let's talk about Netflix, because they're starting to make Disney look tame in comparison. Despite all the chaos swirling around Meghan Markle, Ted Sarandos keeps doubling down on his decision to keep her involved in these disaster screenings and the train wreck Q&A sessions afterward. It's like no matter how bad things get, he's not backing down. And seriously, after all the plagiarism accusations floating around behind the scenes of With Love, Meghan Season 2, you'd think Netflix would have finally pulled the plug on her public appearances, but nope. They're still letting her take the stage, still letting the drama unfold right in front of everyone's eyes. Instead of protecting their brand, they're letting the negative word of mouth spread like wildfire behind closed doors, and soon probably everywhere else. What are they thinking? So here we are again, and honestly, it's like Netflix never learns. But now, behind closed doors, they're starting to seriously ask themselves, was bringing Meghan Markle onto their platform ever a good idea in the first place? Executives are reportedly filled with regrets, watching this whole situation spiral out of control. Meghan's unpredictable behavior, her angry outbursts, and that super defensive attitude toward a live audience, it's leaving Netflix in complete shock. And when you take a hard look at With Love, Meghan Season 2, it's looking like a total mess. A botched season from start to finish. Too many setbacks, endless re-edits, and a storyline that's constantly being patched together at the last minute. And get this! Word is that the reshoots won't even have a solid script. They're planning to just wing it with improvised scenes. Can you believe that? What kind of plan is that for a streaming giant? And if you thought things couldn't spiral further, oh, it gets worse! Behind the scenes, Netflix insiders are now leaking word that several producers are threatening to walk away from With Love, Meghan entirely. Yep, they've had enough of the chaos. Some of these producers reportedly feel the whole project has become unmanageable and too toxic to fix. That's the kind of energy floating around the Netflix offices right now. To make matters worse, Meghan's team is pushing back too. They're now demanding creative control over the final cut of the season. Can you imagine? After all the bad press and failed screenings, they want even more power to shape how the show turns out. Insiders are calling it a battle for control between Meghan's camp and Netflix executives. Neither side wants to back down, and the clock is ticking before the next release deadline. And here's another twist. Apparently, some top Netflix investors are starting to ask tough questions. They're wondering why the company keeps pouring money into a show that's already bombed with test audiences and wrecked its own public image. Some are even quietly urging the board to cut losses and cancel the show before Season 2 ever hits the platform. Could you imagine if it gets pulled at the last second? But for now, Netflix is still caught in the middle of this Hollywood standoff. Reshoots are barely holding together, producers are losing faith, and Meghan? She's doubling down harder than ever. Will this season crash before it even premieres? Or is Netflix going to try and spin it into some wild redemption story? Stay tuned. This saga's not over yet. And that's the tea from Famedrip, your go-to source for the real stories behind Hollywood's biggest meltdowns. What do you think about all this madness? Drop your thoughts down below, and if you want to stay on top of the latest celebrity drama and streaming chaos, hit like, follow, and turn on those notifications. Trust us, there's more where this came from. Catch you next time on Famedrip, where the drama never stops. Stay tuned.